you might be thinking that if you just embody this alpha male, this masculine, this dominant version of yourself, that's it. This is the holy grail. She will be attracted to you. She will drop her panties for you and she will want to enter in a long term relationship with you. Well, while this is true, she wants that from you. It's not just what she needs from you. And let me tell you this little story from one of my clients. It happened last week, and we were discussing a lot about this on the weekend because he made a huge mistake that cost him a flake. So basically, he met this beautiful woman at work, right? And they had this like 30 minutes long conversation, right? So one of the things that I'm doing with my client is I am teaching him to meet women on a consistent basis, right? Almost like it's becoming a habit. He gets to meet one or two women a day, depending if he really likes her or not, right? And funny enough, he actually had this conversation. 30 minutes is going so well. They were laughing together. He was, flirting with her. There was a great chemistry, right? So he takes her number and it's going so well. He's super happy about it, right? And they're supposed to have a date on Friday, right? So in his mind, it's like, wow, that's cool. This is actually working. And to really solidify the date, he decides the next day to call her. So I think it was on Thursday. I'm not fully sure, but I think Thursday he calls her and he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a date, blah blah blah, on Friday. I don't know what he said on that conversation, okay? So I'm making this up. But basically what he told me is that he started to feel this feeling of like there's something off here. There's something off about her. And instead of addressing this, instead of being empathetic, instead of being compassionate, loving, trying to understand her, trying to connect with her, he ignored this, right? So he was just focusing on like, I'm gonna be grounded. I'm gonna flirt with her. I'm gonna be this masculine, witty version of myself. And funny enough, she flaked on him. He even went to her work, so to their work, right? And she looked at him very surprised. She was like, oh, yeah, I don't have time right now. I can't go on a date with you. Sorry. And this left him feeling like surprised. Like, what happened? We planned a date and that's it. You're just leaving me like this. It's a weird feeling to have. And on the weekend, we had a discussion about this. I told him, okay, what do you think was the reason? And he couldn't really come up with an answer. And I told him, you were not empathetic on the call with her. You could literally feel intuitively, which is amazing. And I think we all have this innate sense of intuition, right? We can feel certain things even though it feels logically that, what the fuck? But he felt something was off with her. And he should have just addressed this. Just addressing like, hey, is there something coming up for you? Like, I can feel something is a little bit off. And yeah, you can be open, you can be honest, like, no judgment from my side, right? If you would have just said that, it would have been a very different call, first of all. And they would probably just reschedule the date. Instead of having it on Friday, they would have it on Sunday, for example, right? And this would have eased the pressure for her. This would have allowed her to feel, oh wow, he can understand me. He sees me. He sees through me. Wow, I feel so safe with him. I can trust him. I feel connected, weirdly connected, because he can see me without me telling him what's happening for me. Wow. This is really the experience for a woman when you allow your intuition to be expressed, when you allow yourself to be empathetic, when you allow yourself to be compassionate, when you allow yourself to open your heart, to be this loving human being, right? So this, I know, goes against pretty much a big chunk of the advice that men receive about dating, right? Because if we look at a lot of the YouTube videos nowadays, or Facebook post or Instagram post or whatever it is, It's all about being the alpha, like making tons of money, 6 figures, 7 figures. It's about building this amazing physique. It's about, increasing your social status. And I could go on and on and on. And I'm not against it. I am not against it. The problem is, if you just focus on that, you forget about the connection. You forget about the meaning that you're about to create with this woman. You forget about having a healthy relationship. Because if you just focus on money, fitness, and social status, you will have very surface level kind of relationship that will end up probably sexless. You might experience getting cheated on by maybe one of your friends, if you're unlucky, or maybe the gym chat that she's training with, or I could go on and on. And this could end up with a divorce where she takes half of your asset and she takes custody of the children as well. This is the reality of a lot of men in the US, in France, where I'm coming from. This is a reality. And isn't it funny that a lot of these successful men also experience this? Even the most famous people still experience cheating, right? It's crazy. So it's not about just building this successful business, about me like having this strong muscular physique or being like super famous and blah blah blah. It's not just about that. Having empathy, being open-hearted, really allowing your intuition to come out, to be expressed, is also an important aspect of the work that you need to do to have a fulfilling dating life. And it's not just this. You also need to focus on being more authentic so that you can attract a woman that is authentic, because not all women are like this, right? You also have to carefully choose the woman that you want to spend time with. Yeah. And there's a bunch of other things. Yeah. But in this specific example that I want to give you in this video, I really want to put an emphasis on being empathetic, having an open heart, being compassionate, because this is super important as well. And this is what will allow you to create a deep connection with your ideal woman when you're on a date with her, when you meet her at the bar or in the club, and etc., right? And it goes a little bit against being the alpha guy, right? Because being empathetic is a feminine trait, right? Having an open heart is feminine. Being compassionate is also a feminine aspect, right? But it's necessary. It's not just about being the masculine alpha guy, bravado, whatever the fuck. It's also about being a little bit soft, a little bit more intuitive, a little bit more empathetic. And this is very much necessary. And you have to tap into this part of yourself. Just like you have to tap into this alpha version of yourself, you also have to tap into this more feminine version of yourself that is empathetic, loving, and etc. It's within yourself. You have it. You just need to access it in an authentic way. And it's not about pretending to be empathetic, right? Because in any ways, if you pretend with a woman, eventually she will see it, right? Maybe the first few dates, she doesn't really see it, but eventually, as you start dating each other, she will see that you put on a mask, and she will lose attraction, she will lose respect, she will, flake on you, she will break up with you, whatever it is for her that she will do, right? So don't pretend this. Actually, allow yourself to be authentic, and this will show up as being empathetic and sometimes as being the alpha guy. It's possible. Thank you for watching, my brother. If you enjoyed this kind of content, you can give me a like. I would really appreciate that. And you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is really something that I would appreciate a lot if you would do that. And I see you when I see you, my brother.